So we are reviewing Legion. It is on FX. And can you hear the construction in the background when I'm talking to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's going to be a little nuts, but we got to make do. So for those who are listening, I have construction going on in my house.
That's what you were saying.
You'll hear it on our YouTube show as well as
Okay.
every single audio channel. Every show we do for the next 4 or 5 months because our show is spread out. So my apologies. My house flooded a lot too long ago, so we're just doing renovations at my place.
Okay.
Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I am Ray.
I'm Evy.
And Evy, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Legion story.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's about a guy who has to go to a mental hospital or is at a mental and just has to learn to survive and figure out his life,
Mm-hmm.
And he's got friends that kind of don't know what they're focusing on either. So they're just trying to survive and focus, with their life,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get. We're going to do kind of like a 5 questions thing. This is to establish that we get like a baseline of what we're watching. So I'm going to ask you like some basic questions, and let's see how much you're able to understand. Ready?
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first question is, so at the start of the show, where are we at the beginning of the show? Like, where does it take place?
It takes place in a mental hospital,
Ding.
actually.
Right.
Yeah. I think the main character is in a bed or something like that. Or
Well, he's being
or
interrogated. He's being interviewed.
he's interrogated.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right. It's being interrogated. So like, we don't know what like first I thought maybe he's in like like how some shows have like he's in an interrogation where he talks to like an FBI agent or a cop and then he's talking to them.
Yeah.
It's not the case. He's actually in an interrogation. Well, he's actually in he's in a hospital, but like he's being interrogated. What that becomes later on is a little bit more accentuated.
Yeah.
Now that we know he's in a hospital, what is his condition? Do you know? Like, what is his symptoms, or what is he diagnosed? Sorry, what is his diagnosis of what's wrong with him?
I would say, a guy whose life is really messed up, not because of him liking it. It's just really bad. But there are like nurses and doctors and stuff trying to help him out. I feel so sorry for him.
Is that what you diagnose as schizophrenia? Is it actual is what he has schizophrenia, where you hear voices and like that? I mean, I don't know because television Hollywood tells you have because I know when you have a dissociative personality disorder, like you hear like Moon Knight is a person who has different personalities, like literally different personalities. This guy hears voices. So what's schizophrenia? Like, what is that? Is that voices in your head, not knowing what's real?
Yeah, not knowing what's real, trying to figure out life, and just trying to figure out things, and people are talking to you, but they don't, but you kind of don't understand to what people are saying because it's all just focused on trying to figure stuff out.
Right. That doesn't mean you have personalities. It's just an emotional or an imbalance for oneself. Right?
Trying to get an emotional balance. So sometimes there are voices, sometimes not, but you just want to try and figure out life.
Well-known actors. We have like Jean Smart from from Designing Women. She plays Dr. Melanie Bird, and we also have Audrey Plaza who plays his friend Lenny Buster.
Yeah. Okay.
Now Audrey, I had because this is again my first time watching this series. I had no idea she was in this. She's actually in the entire series, right?
Yeah, I know.
And so you have some really big like established actors in this series. So what's your feeling? Well, how'd you like Audrey Plaza's character?
It was good. Very you know, it's on base. It's like, you know, it's the acting is really, really good. You know,
Mhm.
it's focus, like the focus of the clients in this movie is very well done.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, right on. You know, it's like right on.
What we learn in the beginning is that, like, like they party, they do drugs or smoke.
Yeah,
Well, they do vape, not drugs. So they
yeah.
basically they vape, right? So it's like basically it's just a small high, it's nothing too
Hmm.
serious. Um, and probably because he has schizophrenia, it doesn't. It either helps him or just sort of like subdues it, or it entices it, like accentuates his behavior. Um,
Yeah.
you know, uh, so let's talk about his power. So, like, what is his power? Because as the show progresses, I think it reveals more and more what his abilities are.
He can throw stuff around
Mhm.
like with a Jedi power or something, or you know, or just trying to focus the uh, the more friends he has because they could help him. Although that's not good sometimes. Yeah, he's just trying to survive, and
We should mention at the top, it's actor Dan Stevens. He plays David Hallier. He's our character. He's our main character, the person who we're going with. So, are we seeing this through his eyes? Basically, I guess for the majority of the show, we're seeing it through what his lens. Like how
mhm,
we interpret everything. So
right, yeah,
which is very interesting because if the person who has schizophrenia, so
mhm,
you would agree that this is a very difficult show to watch because it's not a linear thinking. Like it's not like Columbo. It's not like a this happened, this happened, this happened. You know, there's gaps in time. We jump forward, we
mhm,
jump backwards in time. We're in the past,
yeah,
but there's no lead up. There's no we don't know like where we are. Like it starts off, the first thing we see is a montage of him as a child, as a
mhm,
teenager, causing violence and things to go awry. So, um,
mhm.
in your estimation, like how would you like? Okay, as assuming you were a doctor, how would you? Uh, do you think how they're treating him was the best way to approach him? Your opinion?
Um, it is very real
Hmm.
to, you know, to the reality of everything, because people are trying to help them, but they themselves don't know what they're doing.
Right. So this is like an actual like this is what you probably see in reality then. Like if someone was
Yeah,
in.
it is.
Okay.
It is
So
very much so.
okay. So yeah. So it's nothing. So it's not like an over exaggeration of the truth. This is like if this was happening, if assuming we had someone who thought he was whatever it was, the approach would be this way.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's good.
I
That's
would
good.
say so.
So it's not that scary after all. I mean, it's an actual like hands-on practical
Yeah.
approach. Okay, because sometimes when you watch these movies with people in the asylum, it kind of gives you this. It kind of scares you.
Hmm.
Like you're locked
Yeah.
up and there's no way out. It's just there's a lot. You feel lost and trapped, and this is actually not this. You kind of feel um, part of the community.
Mm.
You feel like you're part of something
Yeah.
as you're working through your problems, and
Correct.
this is what the show kind of represents. So
Correct.
it's a good articulate way of showing you like what really is going on. Like it's not
Hmm.
like the evil doctors and the patient. We're giving you meds to
Right.
make you lose your mind or become dull in senses, but well, which sometimes they have to because you can be violent or whatever.
Mm.
But it's for the
Yeah.
nature of progressing your health as well as those around you. Did I say it right?
Right.
Would that be the
Yeah.
best word? Okay, so overall, so in your, how did you, without giving any kind of rating, but like overall, how did you like the show?
A lot to consider,
Mhm.
a lot to focus on. I'd on awareness of the thing. It really is right on point as of how it is in real life.
Was there anything was there something that you liked? That was there a scene or a section of the show that was like you actually like that stood out for you?
Um, yeah, with the holding down people sometimes and giving them their medication.
You like that?
Pardon?
You
I
like
didn't
that part?
like it,
Oh, oh.
but that's how it is sometimes.
Mm-mm.
You know, yeah, they're trying to focus and trying to get their life together, but it's so hard,
Mm-mm.
you know? So, yeah, I've seen people like try and choke each other, throw food at each other,
Oh, wow.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, it's really, really, that's, that is kind of an example of how life really is.
Oh, that's pretty harsh. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, for me, the part I like, the part that was a highlight for me is the part when they first kissed. There's a girl falls in love with,
Hmm.
and they have a scene that they kiss. Her diagnosis is well, not her diagnosis, like her issue is she doesn't like to be touched, you know.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
And
Okay.
then there's a scene where they kiss, and there's something, and this becomes like the catalyst of the show, you know, because he's making connection with somebody who's real,
Mm-hmm.
and she's or that we think is real, and then she is um, doing the one thing she's not comfortable doing, and then that one sequence is what really starts this whole thing into a high gear. So that was kind of exciting. And then what happens to the Audrey Plaza character, Lenny?
Mm-hmm.
She's on the wall, or on the
Okay.
fence, well, on the wall, we'll say. Would you recommend this show to somebody to go watch? Or is it something that you'd champion to say, we should watch this show, and why would you watch this show? Like, what would you get out of this by watching the show?
If they, no, I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, really?
Not,
Okay.
or unless the person's has focus and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because that could make a person who's not well, that might upset them, right? And
Yes.
they'd be, yeah, that's not a good
No, I guess,
thing.
yeah. If you're not well adjusted, I don't think showing somebody who's unwell, showing that he or she a show that's about people who are unwell and whose life is worse. it's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's not the healthiest. It'd be like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
All right. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll end it on a very low note. I'm Ray.
I'm heavy.
We'll talk to you later.